Dirty fireworks go boom. But how should you build AGL Vegeta's hidden potential? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the AGL Dirty Fireworks Vegeta, trying to figure out what might be his best hidden potential. This dude is the first Dokkan Fest exclusive that is fully synced on both versions, right? This guy released on both JP and Dokkan at the same time. And we might be wondering how to build his hidden potential, because after all, he kind of does everything. He has crit, he has additional, he has a little bit of dodge. So what do you do? So in this video, we're going to take a look and try to figure that out by taking a look at his passive here. So let's start with his leader skill. He is a Planet Namek Saga Gifted Warriors in Human Deeds. Category Key 3 HP attack and defense 170%, with Dragon Ball Seekers and Pure Saiyans getting the 30%. Basically what this means is he actually has a really decent team. It gives him access into some good Vegeta units for support, but it also gives him access to the Broly movie units, which is really helpful for him. So honestly, he's got a pretty half decent leader skill. Now on his passive, he is activating an entrance animation once only. His Key 3 attack and defense on 180% for the rest of the battle when facing only one enemy. He does get attack defense 50% per key sphere obtained, and that is capped at 500%, which is basically 10 key spheres. Now the reason I believe it is capped is because of this right here. For each super attack he does, he's greatly raising his attack, which is basically a 50% attack raise. Now the defense is a little bit less, 20% on the defense, but still enough that, right, like if they were to keep the key spheres just any and all, he would spin out of control really quickly. Now he does randomly change key spheres of a certain type, excluding AGL to rainbow key spheres. He reduces damage received by 30% and has a chance of evading enemies attack 18% with AGL key sphere obtained, or 5 or more key spheres obtained, an additional damage reduction 18%. And he has an additional chance of evading enemies attack 30% and has an additional reduction of 18% when attacking if HP is 50% or more. If HP is 50% or less at the end of the turn, he has an additional defense 50% and a high chance of performing a critical hit. After the character performs 5 or more super attacks in battle, he changes all his key spheres to AGL key spheres the next attacking turn. And for all attacking turns going forward, he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to AGL. He does have an active skill that massively raises his attacks temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy, right? And then it permanently raises his attack 50%. And this can be activated after doing 4 or more attacks. So now the question is, knowing that he has crit, he has additional, has a little bit of dodge, how would you build this hidden potential? Well, we can see here on the Dokkan Wiki that as an AGL type, he gets a natural 20% if you fully invest in additionals, which basically means 40% on the hidden potential system. For critical hit, he gets a max of 15, which is 30%. He can bump it up to 25%. And then, of course, evasion is just straight 1-to-1, 15% across the board. So knowing that, how should you build him? Well, for me, even though it is capped at 500, he is a nuker. Attack and defense 50% per key sphere obtained. You're going to be hitting 7 to 10 pretty often with this guy. So you'll be getting the damage reduction you need. So having dodge, while helpful, probably not going to be as useful as some of these others, right? The additional attacks will allow him to attack more, which means he's stacking higher, which will get him to greater attack stats. The critical hit helps to ensure that you are getting crit when not below the 50%. You want to make sure that you have enough critical hit so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you're launching this big attack and it doesn't crit and you end up not killing the boss. There's nothing worse feeling than that. So again, best you can do is 15% if you fully invest, 30, which is 30%. If you do invest a few, invest a few skill orbs, you can actually bump him up to a little 40%. So it is worth it that way. The combo attack should be secondary, as it will allow him to stack greater and stack more. And if you're not feeling either one of those, there is always dodge. Now, it's not, I wouldn't recommend it. I would focus on getting your attack up, but it could definitely be a good secondary if you don't feel that you need the additional attacks or the crit. So, guys, that is it for the video. That is my recommendation on the super tech for the Dirty Fireworks Vegeta. He's actually really, really good. He does everything you want a new unit to do. So, hopefully you guys like the video. If you do, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. In the comments down below, let us know, how did you build your Agl Vegeta? Or if you're someone who skipped and you plan on picking him up later, when you do, how will you build this guy? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.